Welcome to Using LinkedIn to Get a Job. I'm Bruce Hurwitz. You can find me on the web at www.hsstaffing.com. During this presentation, you will learn how to create an impactful LinkedIn profile and a useful network with the ultimate goal of turning your LinkedIn presence from the virtual to the real world. The philosophy behind my approach is that it is better to have employers run after you than for you to have to run after them. But in order for that to happen, you have to be known. I will show you how to become a known commodity, if you will, on LinkedIn. And on that point, I invite you to visit the homepage of my website, hsstaffing.com. As you can see, if you scroll down, you will find a link to a video I made titled Building a Brand to Attract Employers. As far as LinkedIn is concerned, the video is outdated as it was made prior to the current user interface. That said, it is still accurate as regards other sites which I recommend you utilize to bolster your profile and presence, including such sites as Help a Reporter Out. I use that site, which brings journalists and sources together, and as a result, I have been quoted in over 700 articles, appearing in more than 500 publications across the United States and around the world. But there's also Twitter, there's Hootsuite, there's Blog Talk Radio, and YouTube. You'll find out the details of how to use these sites again if you watch my video, Building a Brand to Attract Employers. So let's get to LinkedIn. And when I log on to LinkedIn, this is my homepage. And for right now, what I want to do is to have you all click on the little circle photo of yourself. I'm going to do this a little differently because I want to make sure we don't lose something. You log in. You click on the photo of yourself. You click on View Profile. This is the profile that your without this box here, that your first degree connections will see. So let's go down. Here is your background photo. I chose to use a shot from my interview on Fox Business Channel. This is my profile photo. The profile photo, as you see on the right, that's what people are going to see. You want it to be professional. Simple headshot. Not a group picture, not a picture of your dog or your cat or your horse, not a picture of you as a child or of your children. Just you, clear headshot. This is what is called the profession. Now, you have your name, first name, last name. If you use an initial or a professional designation, it's sometimes going to mess things up because the system won't know what your last name is. It may think in some cases that your initial is the last name, and in some cases the professional designation. That's why I only have Bruce Hurwitz. I don't have Bruce A. Hurwitz, PhD. It would just mess things up. Define yourself. I chose executive recruiter, job search strategist. Then something unique. Well, first, and it's not all that unique, I have 30,000 first degree connections. I can't accept anybody anymore. So I'm telling people, don't send me invitations. Just follow me. And we'll get back to that. But here is my unique selling proposition. I promote the hiring of veterans. For you, you want to change this because you're a job seeker. As long as confidentiality isn't an issue, change this to open to new opportunities. That way, everyone on the planet will know that you're looking for a job. But remember what I just said. If confidentiality is an issue, you can't do that. It will auto-populate, the profile will, with your current employer, where your education is, where you got your education, and where you're located, and this is the number of first-degree connections. I want to just briefly go to your public profile, because on your public profile, it's a little different. This is what the world can see. You've still got your location, but now it's your industry, which you have chosen. The industry should be your personal industry, not your employer's. So if you are an accountant working for a marketing firm, your industry is not marketing, it's accounting. And that's important because when a recruiter does a search for people in your industry, they're looking for an accountant. They're not looking for somebody in marketing. So it's your industry, not your employer's industry. Look over to the right, clean up. You just do it by clicking on the pen. Clean up your URL, your public URL. If you haven't done this already, then it's your first name hyphen last name and a series of numbers and letters. Get rid of the hyphen, get rid of the numbers and letters, make it as simple as possible. If somebody else already has your name, then you may have to add your location, for example, NYC, or dated year of your birth, or your zip code, or just some random number. But make it simple to eliminate the possibilities or minimize the possibilities of typos. And make certain that posts and activities is checked. That way there, everyone will be able to see what you are doing online. Now, let me show you something. This is an article that I posted literally 5 minutes ago. And as of right now, 2 people have seen it. It's the first time I'm opening this up. In 5 minutes, 2 people saw it. So what I'm guessing is, and this is one of the problems with LinkedIn, you have anomalies. If there are 2 people, then these circles should be the same size. You can't always rely on LinkedIn's analytics. But look at this article, which was a previous one. Come over here for the analytics, and now we get a different picture. A larger number of second-degree connections have viewed this than first-degree. A first-degree connection is someone who I am directly connected to. A second-degree connection is someone who I am connected to through a first-degree connections. If I didn't have 30,000 first-degree connections, this circle would not be that large. When we remember that when we get back to a discussion about the size of a network. But anyways, we're looking at the profile. We are trying to make certain that the profile is of interest to the general public. So they see our picture, they've got our name, they've been able to find us. Now what do they see? They see a summary that I have written about myself and my company, what I want to share. I don't brag, I don't use any jargon, I make it sweet and simple. Just answer this question. Who are you? What are you? What's important for you? Now, if you have them, add multimedia. This is my previous video. This is the copy of my interview on Fox. This only I can see. My first-degree connections can't see this. But they can see my articles. They can see things that I have done. my activity, and then they'll read about the jobs that I have had and the one that I currently have and where I went to school and my volunteer activities. There's also a section on skills and endorsements that no one in their right mind pays any attention to. Why? Because people swap endorsements, and sadly they also swap recommendations. They don't mean anything. As a recruiter, if I want to check on your credentials and to check a reference, I'm not going to read something on LinkedIn. I'm going to contact that person. And these can get you into trouble because if they're not real, and this has happened to me. I've had candidates for executive recruiting clients who have come to me and said that they're great and they have all these recommendations on LinkedIn, and I printed out part of their profile and I said, okay, give me the contact information for the first 10 listed. I want to talk to them. Never heard from the candidate again. They weren't real. Accomplishments. In my case, I went heavy on publications. I didn't go heavy on articles and quotations. There would be no end. I can't have 700 articles listed here. And who's to know what's impressive and what might impress one person may turn somebody else off. So I forgot about those. I did put in languages because speaking a foreign language can help you get a job. And projects. Now in my case it was one of the videos. I just wanted something for project. But let's just say you are a college student, soon to be a graduate, in IT, in computer science, and you created some apps. Well, this is a place to list them. Now, don't get into a lot of tech stuff. Most of the people who see this won't be tech-oriented. But you want to say what you did, why you did it, how you did it, and the results, and then have a link to the URL so that the general public can see what you actually did. I want to see what your website looks like, what your app looks like. I don't care how it was built. I just want to see if it works. And then finally, interests. So these could be people that you're following. It could be groups you belong to, and this changes all the time. Now, this is supposed to be about getting a job on LinkedIn. So let's click on jobs. And lo and behold, this opens up. Find update career interests. It may not be in the same place. You may have to scroll down a bit. And here you get this option. Let recruiters know you're open. You click here, and now every recruiter who has a recruiter premium account will be notified that I'm looking for a job. So for obvious reasons, I get rid of that. But first, I'm sorry. Here I could have written something that I would like recruiters to know about me. Right? Then you put in your job title. Let's say, for sake of argument, web developer. All right? And then you want to get rid of it. You just put the cursor on it. The X appears. Click on the X. You're in New York City. What type of job are you looking for? And then company preferences. You can choose the industry and the size of the company. So now the recruiters know that you're looking for work. They know what you're looking for specifically. And that's it. No one else besides the recruiters know. Which is okay if you need confidentiality. But if you don't need confidentiality and you need a job, that's when on your professional line, on your profile, just to remind you, over here, this is your professional line, you would put in open to new opportunities or looking for new opportunities, and then the world would know what you are up to. Now, let's go back. Let's go back to search. Now we're going to look for a job. And here we put in web developer. Oops. Here we put in web developer. We put in our city as New York. And New York, we'll do Greater New York City. And we've got 803 web developer jobs in Greater New York City. Lovely. It's too much. So we're going to change it a bit, and we're going to do, for the past 24 hours, there would just be 3. I am making this video on a Sunday. Let's click past week, there are 158. But it's still too many. So let's scroll down. I said we're a college student, so that means entry level. Now we're down to 82, and that is manageable. So you click on the job, you read it, you think you have a chance of getting it, you click on easy apply, and you apply through LinkedIn for the position. All right? Now, it could be something else. It could be that you have to apply on the company's website. So you click here and you get to the company website. That is how you apply for a job through LinkedIn. It's simple, it's clean, it's neat. Do it. Now let's go to my home page. And from this box here, I can share a photo or an update. So, what's that all about? You click here, and if you want an image, you can go looking for an image. And there's an image. So what did I do prior to recording this video? I did this update. Photo. Photo of me, and what did I write? When having a Skype interview, don't forget to set the stage. People ask me about my books, and some mention the bike. 2 topics I would never raise in an interview, but that allows interviewers to know something about me as a person. It's the background that allows that. So we get into discussion about my reading habits. They may look at the bike, notice it, and think that I am health conscious. Not a bad thing. That is an update, is a photo. An update would be including the URL, for example, of an article that was recently published in which I was quoted. That's what this is. I didn't write, hey, I was just quoted in an article. That sounds obnoxious. All I wrote was great lessons to consider when dressing for a job interview, included the URL. It took, we're done. I shared this with the public and my Twitter followers because I want the world to know about it. That's how you build a brand and a reputation. Now, the last one is writing an article. And in this case, you click on article, you write your headline, you write content, on the headline, you write whatever, this is my headline, and here underneath you put in the content. And for reasons that will become clear, please ignore. This is a test, and I will delete it when I'm finished with this article, but I want you to see how to do it. And obviously, I had done this properly a little while ago. Sadly, the video didn't work. I click on Publish. Here I add hashtags. So in my case, it would be job search. All right, whatever the hashtag is, this is a subject that's covered in the article. And now you click on Publish. And what happens? You get this, share on Twitter. And this will include the title, the URL, your Twitter handle and LinkedIn's Twitter handle, and then you type tip space at LinkedIn editors. And I'm not going to do it, but you would tweet it. And what happens? This tweet is brought to the attention of LinkedIn editors. What's that all about? If they like it, they will include it in an industry feed of their choice, and that is how an article can go viral. So that's why you want to do that. Now, there's something else you want to do. This is the article that I posted a little while ago. You can join up to 50 groups on LinkedIn. I just want to close these down. You can join up to 50 groups on LinkedIn. Close this as well. You click on work, you find groups, and we come to my first group, which is Premium Career Group. And now I want to tell everybody about this article that I just published. So how do I do this? I start a conversation. First, I put in the URL and make sure it takes, and it took. So how to really hurt a child or spouse job seeker. I don't say anything about it. I don't point out the fact that I wrote it. All I'm going to write here is, if your adult, child, or spouse is looking for a job, keep this in mind before helping them. Period. And now I post it. So now it's in the group. It took. You got the URL. You've also got a link here. Somebody clicks on it. It'll take them to the article. And this is how people will find it who may not be my first degree connections, but we're in the same group. Now, so we've looked at photos, we've looked at updates. Now I want to go to notifications. And you will see here things that are happening in regards to your activities on LinkedIn and the activities of your followers. So this is something that Joshua Miller's, no, I'm sorry, it's not Joshua Miller. This is a post, yes, I was right, by Joshua Miller that I commented on. And 3 people commented on my comment, and 1 person commented on one of those 3's comments. What happens is a dialogue can be established because you're participating, you're commenting, people agree with you, they disagree with you, keep it professional, don't insult anyone, and don't react when somebody insults you. But this is a way for you to become a known commodity. You have to be active, so comment. If you disagree with somebody, don't say you're wrong. Say, you wrote such and such, I always thought this, where am I wrong? That's the way an adult does it. And it's sometimes very hard to be an adult. I posted a different article that I was quoted in. I did it a week ago, and over 100 people have seen it. This was a comment that I made on somebody's photo. 8 people liked it. It's how relationships grow. This individual liked my article along with 8 others. This gentleman shared something with his network of which I am a part. This is a lady and 8 others who liked a different article that I wrote. These are responses to ads I placed for jobs. And this just told me that I've got 5 more followers. Now, what is that all about? Well, let me show you this. This is the page with all of my articles, and here it shows how many followers I have. I have 31,771 followers. The first 30,000 are my first-degree connections. But what gives me a good feeling and a sense of pride is the fact that 1,771 people on LinkedIn around the world think that my views matter. That's why LinkedIn for me is a very powerful tool. I can get a message out to 30,000 people instantaneously. But consider something else that I can do. Let's click on search. Yes, I have 30,000 first-degree connections. But I have 5,794,736 individuals in my total network. Meaning that in an instant, there is potential for anything I do online to reach almost 5.8 million people. Good, bad, or indifferent, I can have an impact. The potential is there. You never know what's going to take off, and I don't have a secret formula. I've had articles that have been read a few dozen times, and I've had a couple that have, one in particular that was read well over 170,000 times. That's what got me onto Fox. So understand the power that LinkedIn gives you. Now let's look at the network. You've got a choice. You can only invite people who you actually know in the real world, which is fine, but then I ask the question, what do you need LinkedIn for? Or you can invite the world. Now, I believe in inviting everybody because that's the way to get traction. More people who are not my first-degree connections read my articles than my first-degree connections. It's the reverse for my photos and my updates. To each his own. Do what you think is right. Now, I want to increase my network. So what do? I click on second degree, and these are all people who I am not connected to. So I'm just going to do the first 3. It doesn't matter. Send now. You can customize, but I don't want to customize. And I forgot. It won't let me do this because I am maxed out at 30. So let's just say I had clicked here and here and here. These would change from connect to invitation sent. Now I click on my network, and you can now see that I was telling you the truth. I've got 30,000 first-degree connections. I've got 33 people who have sent me invitations to connect to them. I will go through it, see who they are, and then I will message all of them. I already prepared a form notice, if you will, saying, thank you, I can't accept your invitation. The best I can offer you is to follow me. Now, a few of the 30,000 will eventually leave, and then I will replace them with whoever has sent me an invitation. But for right now, I can't do that. Now, when you send out all those invitations, and you can send out thousands in a matter of hours, there's a problem. LinkedIn will freeze your account, and they won't give out any numbers. But if a certain percentage of the people who you have invited to join your network don't accept, they'll freeze and you can't send any more. So what do? For some of my clients, what I have done is on a Sunday, I will send out literally a few thousand connect requests. And then on Friday, I'll come over here, and there will be listed here all of the invitations that I have sent out that have not been accepted. And on the right will be a button that will say withdraw. I withdraw them all. Just keep on clicking. And then I do that on a Friday, and then by Sunday, I can start sending out invitations again. Now, there's no limit on the number of invitations you can send if you've got a premium account. The system will freeze at one point, but there's no limit on search results. It's a technical thing. I don't want to get into the weeds. If you have a premium account, you can avoid that limitation. If you've never had a premium account, get a premium account, send out as many invitations as you can, and cancel the premium account after 1 month. And you won't be charged for it as long as it's the first time you've had a premium account. It's not unethical. LinkedIn asked the question, why are you canceling? And you can say, because you completed the project. It took you 1 month. When I have done that for some of my clients, within 1 month, they had over 5,000 first-degree connections. All real. They didn't go out and buy. There is a company that says they'll send you links to the email addresses of good people to connect to. They haven't researched anybody. I know, because I was for a time on their list. But I warned people about it. So they removed me because I was giving up the game. But anyways, you want to have, to my way of thinking, a large number of first-degree connections, simply because every first-degree connection is also a follower, and you want to have as many followers as possible, because when somebody sees you have 31,000, almost 32,000 followers, they're going to react a lot differently from if they see you only have 200 or 300 followers. The more followers you have, the more power you have. And believe me, 32,000 followers is not the largest number of followers on LinkedIn. There are people with millions of followers. Now, if you have a premium account, you can also ask for introductions to people. So let's just say I wanted to meet or be introduced to one of my second-degree connections, or even third-degree connections. I would click on their profile. I would see I will show you. I'll use this gentleman. I would click on over here, and there would be an option to get introduced. And then a screen would appear, and I would have a choice of which one of my first and possibly second-degree connections do I want to ask to introduce me to this person. With the new user interface, that option is gone. So the only thing I could do if I have a second-degree connection is to see who we're connected to and send that person a message through LinkedIn. Messaging. I would find the person, and I would ask them to introduce me to whomever. Introductions are good. Introductions can help you. Let's just say, though, that you have a first-degree connection at a company where you're working. That's another reason why you want to have a lot of connections, because you never know where you're going to be applying for. And when you do the search for connections, you've got your second-degree connections. You put in your location. So in my case, it would be Greater New York City. And now you put in the industry. And I would use information technology and services. Well, right away, anyone who doesn't have a network, they only have 1 or 2 people in their network, again, a college student, they connect in IT. They connect to me, or they send me an invitation, and I connect with them. They immediately will have 2,921 second-degree connections. And they can build off of that. That's why you need a large network. Because in my case, my just shy of 3,000 second-degree connections is because I have 434 first-degree connections in IT. Think about that. If I didn't have that 400, I wouldn't be able to give access to thousands. So think about what you will be losing if you say no to somebody. And no one in their right mind is going to hold you responsible for the actions of members of your network. If somebody does something really stupid and you realize they're in your network, you can remove them. It's not hard. It's very simple. But don't worry about that. No one in their right mind would think that I actually know all of my 30,000 first-degree connections. I hope you have found this presentation of value. LinkedIn is a phenomenal tool. If I've been able to do it, to use it, and to build a reputation around LinkedIn, you can do it. I don't care if you're fresh out of high school, if you're going to be graduating soon from college, or if you are a seasoned professional. By being mature on LinkedIn, sharing photos, professional photos, updates, writing articles, commenting on other people's work, commenting in groups, starting discussions. If you're working on a project and you have a question, join a group of professionals in your industry and ask the question. That's how you'll be able to build a relationship. LinkedIn is unbelievably powerful. Use it. Don't abuse it. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you have found this video to be of benefit. Always feel free to reach out to me. Again, you can find me on my website, hsstaffing.com. And what I appreciate most is comments and critiques. Thank you very much, and I wish you every success.